Good morning, everyone. Good morning, sir. Um, my topic is all about the chapter 2, Nationalism and Patriotism. So, before that, I just wanted to introduce myself. By the way, I am Peter Nel Del Mondo Lapad, B.S. Cream 2. I live in Umagos, Lagonglong, Misamis Oriental, taking course Bachelor of Science of Criminology of Misamis Oriental Institute of Science and Technology. So, let's proceed to our topic, the national and patriotism. So, there are basic concepts of nationalism and patriotism. Nationalism is an ideology and movement defined by promoting the interests of a particular nation, in particular with the aim of acquiring and maintaining the nation's sovereignty over in its country of origin. So it's very important to unite everyone to handle our nation and to aim high, because it is very important to improve our countries, because we are the low country, low basta kay low country low country ng again the other country. I compare to other country. So let's proceed. Nationalism claims that its nation should regulate itself free from outside intervention, that a nation is a natural and ideal political basis, and that a nation is the only legitimate source of political authority. All of us, we have free will to doing bad or good, but let us know that there are limitations how to maintain our peace and order. So okay, proceed. It also aimed to build and maintain a single national identity based on shared social characteristics such as culture, source, language, religion, politics, and belief in a distinctive shared history, and to promote national unity of solidarity. So, it is very important na we build and maintain, communicate each other, and how to improve our country. Nationalism therefore seeks to preserve and encourage a nation's traditional culture, and cultural revivals have been connected to nationalist movement. It also fosters pride in domestic accomplishment and is strongly associated with patriotism. Nationalism is often paired with their ideologies, for instance, conservation or socialism. So, nationalism. So, all of us, we need to encourage everyone and help one another to aim high and seek to improve our country. So, the types of nationalism. Nationalism can be expressed along civil, ethnic, cultural, religious, or ideological lines. These self-definition of countries are used to classify distinct kinds of nationalism, although these categories are not mutually exclusive and many nationalist movements combine to differing degrees some of all these components. So, ang so this topic talk about what is unity. So, it's very important to unity sa atong unity to us, unity one of us. Number 1, ethnic nationalism or ethno-nationalism. The country is described from prior generation in terms of ethnicity and descent. It also involved the concept of a shared culture among group members and generally a shared language. So we know this. We are new. It is very important to know the language of other country because we sure and we can communicate to others. The nation membership is hereditary. So ang atong culture, our culture is a heredity. What are your all these family are what is the cultural that they begin. The state derives political legitimacy from its status as the ethnic group homeland and from its obligation to safeguard the partially domestic group and as a group to promote its family as social life. Yeah. Yes, it's very important to family and social life to promote. In contrast to Western opinions of a country defined by its geographic territory, theorist Anthony D. Smith utilized the word ethnic nationalism for non-Western notion or nationalism. So, the word ethno-nationalism is usually used only in relation to nationalists who support an explicit ideology along this line. The more generic word is ethnic nationalism and used by nationalists who hold such a view in an informal, instinctive, or unsystematic manner. Nationalism may have non-pejorative significance when debating African, Native American, or other nationalism that publicly claim a tribal identity. So, it's so clear kayo, no? It's so very clear na it's so easy to understand because it's so common to us. Number 2, civic nationalism or civil nationalism. The state derives political legitimacy from its citizens' active involvement and the extent to which it reflects the will of the individual. So civic nationalism na reflects reflect to individual and how to act as a people and how to um, interact to others, citizens. So, civic nationalism lies within the tradition of rationalism and liberalism, but it is contrast with ethnic nationalism as type of nationalism. So, clear kayo. They are the same. They are civic nation membership is regarded to be voluntary. The group of representative democracy in nations such as the United States and France was affected by civil national values. State nationalism, often coupled with ethnic nationalism, is a version of civic nationalism. It means that the country is community. Those who contribute to the state maintenance and strength, and not there is a person contribute to that objective. The country is supposed to be community of those who contribute to state maintenance and strength, and where the person exists expressly in the society to contribute to that objective. This often results in fascism, generally characterized by authoritarianism and nationalism. Fascism is a political ideology. So, let's proceed to number 3. Expansionist nationalism, a radical form of imperialism that includes independent patriotic feelings with a faith in expansionism, generally through military aggression. The word was coined in the late 19th century as European powers indulged the scramble for Africa in the name of domestic glory, but was most closely linked with the militarist government in the 20th century. So expansionist nationalism, the word was coined in 19th century and linked with militarist government in 20th century. Come on. Including fascist Italy, Nazi Germany, the Japanese Empire, and the Balkan nation of Albania, Great Albania, Bulgaria, Croatia, Hungary. Nations are not believed to be equivalent to their right to self-determination. Some countries are believed to possess features or qualities that make them superior to others. Therefore, expansionist nationalism argues the right of an state to expand its boundaries at the cost of its neighbors. The Italy, Nazi Germany, Japanese, Balkan nations, Bulgaria, Croatia, Hungary are not believed to be equivalent to the right to self-determination. So number 4, romantic nationalism. It is the otherwise known as organic nationalism and identity nationalism. Is the form of ethnic nationalism in which the state derives political legitimacy as a result, an expression of the nation natural. It is based on the presence of a historical, ethnic culture that met a romantic ideal. Wow, it's a wonderful words about romantic nationalism. It expressed romanticism values and opposed to the rationalism of enlightenment, a historical ethnic culture that meets the romantic ideal. Wow, was emphasized by romantic nationalism. Folklore evolved as romantic nationalist notion. So, nice kayang romantic nationalism. So, number 5, cultural nationalism. The country is described by shared culture is not solely civic or ethnic. Chinese nationalism is an instance of cultural nationalism, partially due to China many national minorities membership in the nation is neither completely voluntary nor hereditary. So however, a traditional culture can be more readily integrated into the lives of any person, particularly if the person can obtain his or her abilities and early points of his or her own lives. Cultural nationalism has been defined as variety of non-civil or ethnic nationalism by 1999 by Nielsen. So number 6, third world nationalism. So nationalists feeling are outcome of opposition to colonial rule to survive and maintain a domestic identity. We are the opposite outcomes of nationalist feelings. Number 7, liberal nationalism. It is kind of nationalism lately defended by political philosophers who think that a non-xenophobic form of nationalism compatible with literal values of liberty, tolerance, equality, and individual rights can exist. It is asserted that in order to lead meaningful, independent life, people need a national identity, and those liberal democracies need domestic identity to work correctly. So, liberal nationalists often define the importance of domestic identity by stating that people need a domestic identity to lead meaningful, independent life, and that liberal democratic politics need domestic identity to work correctly. Ernest Renan, author of Cognition, and John Stuart Mill are often thought to be early liberal nationalists. So, si Quinn and John Stuart Mill it is the early liberal nationalist. So number 8, religious nationalism. Nationalism connection to be specific religious faith, church, or affiliation. Affiliation. It can be seen that as her religion contribute a sense of domestic unity. So, in times sa atong religious nationalism, it is very important to unity to other churchmates, because our founder is one. Yeah. So it can be seen that shared religion contributes to a sense of domestic unity and mutual bond between the nation people. This connection can be divided into dimensions: religion's politicization and religion converse effect on politics. In a former aspect, it can be seen that shared religion contributes to a sense of domestic unity of common bond between the nation peoples, the support of a national identity comparable to a shared ethnicity, language, or culture. Is another political element of religion. More ideological is the impact of religion on politics, where present interpretation of religious concepts inspire political activism and action. For instance, legislation are enacted to encourage strict religious adherence. So number 9, pan-nationalism. Ethnic or cultural nationalism refers to a country that is itself cluster of associating ethnic and cultural communities, such as a Turkish peoples. So ang pan-nationalism refers to a country or communities we are belong. So diaspora nationalism. Diaspora is an ethnic population residing outside their traditional homelands. In this type of nationalism, there is a nationalist sense. The Irish in the United States, the Jews in the United States and elsewhere, and etc. Stateless nationalism. On nationalist basis, the Catalans and Basques in Spain, an ethnic or cultural minority within a nation state aims independence. Yeah. So number 12, national conservatism. Political terms mainly used in Europe to describe a version of conservatism that focus more on domestic interests than conventional conservatism, while not being unduly nationalist or pursuing a far-right agenda. 13. Number 13. Revolutionary nationalism. Revolutionary nationalism is an ideological theory that calls for a domestic group united by a shared sense of intent and destiny. also known as radical nationalism. It was first ascribed and strongly promulgated by Benito Mussolini to followers of revolutionary syndicalism in France and Italy at the start of 20th century. This intellectual synthesis of radical nationalism and descendant society was created. So, 14. Left-wing nationalism. Left-wing nationalism, also sometimes referred to as socialist nationalism, relates to any political movement combining left-wing or socialism with nationalism. Notable examples include the 26 July movement of Fidel Castro, which launched the Cuban Revolution in 1959 to oust the American-backed Fulgencio Batista, Ireland Sinn Féin, Israel Labor Zionism, and the African National Congress. So, let's proceed to patriotism. So, patriotism or national pride is a sense of love. Yeah. So, patriotism, love to our country, dedication and attachment to our country and its alliance with other people who share the same impression. This attachment can be a mixture or many distinct emotions, including ethnic, cultural, political, or historical elements related to one own country. It is predominant virtue linked to a nation love with greater emphasis on values and beliefs. One who has patriotic will willing to offer any sacrifice his nation. He'll never live alone egotistically. For example, for the sake of his country, a soldier makes the ultimate sacrifice of his life for no other reason that being citizen of that nation. Patriotism is a dedication to one nation. In essence, patriotism is a sense of attachment and dedication to a country, nation, or political community. Just country love. So patriotism is the love of our country. So, for example, the police, the soldier, and other that protect our countries, they are called patriotism because her or his dedication is to love our country or nation. So the English word patriot is the first known in the Elizabethan period. It originated from Latin 6th century patriota via Middle French meaning countryman. So finally from Greek patriotis meaning from the same nation meaning fatherland. Liddell and Scott. The abstract noun patriotism appeared in the early 18th century. So, kinds of patriotism. Patriotism of duty. This includes fidelity to one nation through material acts. This is military service, patriotism, and other selfless sacrifice types. This is type where patriotism become embodied and its ideal take praiseworthy particular action. So number 2, patriotism of affection. This is the patriotism of the heart. It is about one internal desire for his country, while being the patriotism of affection can be seen in the patriotism duty, but it does not necessarily result in it one can truly love his country and yet be coward, just as one can theoretically fulfill a patriotic duty and yet feel apathetic about country's welfare. Number 3 is the patriotism of manners. This is custom, patriotism written and unwritten. The patriotism of manner is to place one hands over the heart during the national anthem. It can be performed by anyone without actually needing affection of duty. By any duty patriotism, while the above types of patriotism show at least part of the real belief hopes of a person, the patriotism of manners establishes mostly a set of protocols. So there are the types of patriotism. Number 1 is personal patriotism. Number 2, official patriotism. Number 3, symbolic patriotism. And number 4, peacetime patriotism. And that's all. Thank you. And God bless everyone.